Good evening. Welcome to the Lyngblomsten Foundation Spring Gala Virtual Edition. My name is Karla Hult. Many of you may know me from KARE 11 News, where I report and also anchor newscasts morning and night, weekday and weekend. It is my privilege to join you again this year, maybe especially this year during this surreal time. A different format for sure, but the same important cause has brought us all together tonight, raising funds for community services known as Second Half with Lyngblomsten. Of course, we still wish that we could all be together tonight in person, but we are grateful for the opportunity to gather virtually. A few housekeeping notes as you join us tonight. There are two special anniversaries that we want to acknowledge. This year marks the 35th, that's 35 anniversary of the Lyngblomsten Foundation and the 20th anniversary of the Gathering program. And we wish both a happy anniversary on these important and meaningful milestones. Quick warning, due to increased internet use, of course, these days, technical difficulties may occur tonight. So if tonight's presentation is impacted at all, know that a recording of the gala will be posted to the Lyngblomsten Foundation website and you can view it later on. Our program will last about 35 minutes long, and besides that shorter time frame, additional modifications include not having the silent auction during social hour, as well as foregoing the live auction after dinner. This is, though, still a fundraising event. It just needs to be, given that the need is so great. So yes, there will be an opportunity for you to make a donation tonight. Also, we would love to see photos from your gala watching as you're sitting at home watching this very presentation. Please feel free to share your posts and your pictures on social media using the hashtag StayingIn4, that's the number 4, Lyngblomsten. So with that, an official thank you for joining us for the Lyngblomsten Foundation Spring Gala. We hope you find tonight's program to be educational and inspiring. You may know about a quarter of people over age 65 living independently in their communities are considered socially isolated, and 43% report feeling lonely, and that was before public health officials instructed older adults as well as everyone else to stay home. That is a big reason why the work of Second Half with Lyngblomsten is so vital, providing resources and opportunities for adults over the age of 50 to engage, discover, and thrive. We are grateful to our numerous sponsors who are supporting this year's gala. The sponsorships from all of these companies help the Lyngblomsten Foundation provide critical funds for Second Half with Lyngblomsten's supportive services. We give special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Weiss Builders, who we will be hearing from in just a moment. We also extend a special thank you to our platinum sponsor, Pro Rehab. We all know these are trying times, especially for senior living providers. We will be hearing a heartfelt message from Lyngblomsten President and CEO, Jeff Heinecke, who will juxtapose the time-limited isolation imposed by COVID-19 and all of the restrictions that come with that, with the isolation many older adults living out in the community feel on a long-term, ongoing basis. Jeff will share the important role that Second Half with Lyngblomsten plays in reducing isolation, and we know what that feels like all the more today for seniors and their family caregivers. But first, we welcome Chris Ealt with a brief message from our presenting sponsor, Weiss Builders.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us at Lyngblomsten Spring Gala. My name is Chris Ealt, and I represent Weiss Builders, the presenting sponsor. We're proud to be able to support Lyngblomsten in tonight's event. I've had the joy and privilege of working with Lyngblomsten staff on the new campus in Lino Lakes. And I can tell you that their dedication to the senior community and healthcare is evident in everything that they do. Weiss Builders is committed to working with high-impact organizations that make long-standing and positive differences in people's lives. Lyngblomsten is one of those organizations, and it deserves our support as it does yours. This is a new venue for a lot of us tonight, but together I know we can make it the best that it can be. On behalf of Lyngblomsten, Weiss Builders, and all of the other sponsors of tonight's event, we want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy lives and dedicating yourself to the success of this organization. Thank you and have a great night.
Greetings. Thank you for joining us this evening. A virtual gala. In the words of my late mother, Darlene, who would have thunk it? Leave it up to the staff here at Lyngblomsten who understand the importance of the gala to our second half programs. They thunk it. That's why we're here this evening. Now, before I go much further, I want to say thanks to Karla Hult for being our MC again this year. Karla, thank you for your continued support of second half and the gathering. I also want to say thanks to all of our sponsors who have hung with us in this kind of new way of doing the gala. Thank you to them. And thanks to one of our newest sponsors, Weiss Builders, a major sponsor, and Chris E. Hult for making that sponsorship happen. And finally, I want to say thanks to Ethan Cook of Half Acre House Photography and Design. Ethan is helping to put together this virtual gala this evening through his company. Ethan's not just a contractor, though. He's a former employee of Lyngblomsten. He worked in our marketing department. Ethan, thank you for all that you've done. All right. Well, I should speak for myself, but I suspect I'm not alone here. Up until a couple of months ago, I had never heard of the term social distancing, and yet it's part of our everyday vocabulary now. We're being asked to bunker down at home. Don't take visitors. Don't go to the grocery store unless we absolutely have to. Keep our distance from one another. You know, for most of us, these restrictions, they're going to come to an end, hopefully someday soon. We pray that COVID-19 is just a horrible memory real soon. But for many of our older adults, being isolated, bored, and lonely, that's not the exception. That's the rule. You know, we've heard and we've known for some time how harmful isolation is to the human body and to the human spirit. Vivek Murthy, a former Surgeon General of the United States, said in all of his years of practice, the most common pathology he encountered was not heart disease. It wasn't even diabetes. It was loneliness. Those are some extremely powerful words. And when we couple those words with recent studies that show that isolation is more harmful than smoking 15 cigarettes a day, we know we need to do more to pull our older adults out of isolation. Now there's some good news here. Second half with Lyngblomsten is designed to do just that. It's designed to engage older adults. It's designed to allow them to thrive. If you haven't done this, I'd really encourage you to take a look at our second half catalog. What you'll find is a range of opportunities from the arts to music to education to wellness. And let's not forget about respite. You know, many of those caregivers that are coming into second half are older adults themselves who are also isolated because they're spending the vast majority of their time being a caregiver. They have little time for themselves. Second half with Lyngblomsten is designed to help those caregivers as well. You know, unfortunately, isolation among older adults is likely going to get worse before it gets better. You know, we've talked about these statistics before, but they're worth sharing again. For the first time in the history of Minnesota this year, we have more folks 65 years of age and older than we do in school. Think about that. What we also know is the vast majority of those 65 plus, they're going to be living in their homes or their apartments in and around where second half operates. That's why it is so critically important that we continue to offer these much needed programs. And we can't do it. We just can't do it without you. We can't do it alone. Now, I understand there's some real irony here. At the same time that I'm asking you to financially support second half, pulling folks out of isolation, we're all being asked to isolate ourselves. Again, that irony is not lost on me. But what I can tell you is this. In this time of restrictions, our staff are doing everything they can to continue to engage our older adults, our participants, our residents and tenants, whether it's on our campus or in our programs. They're being persistent with how they reach out and when. They're being creative using technology similar to what we're doing today to engage them. But above all, they're showing how much they truly love and care for those older adults that they've been serving for so long. I can't tell you how proud I am of our staff. And I'm really quite certain that if you could see what they're doing day in and day out, you'd be equally as proud as well. Now, at some point here, we hope it's soon, the doors of second half will open up, and we will open up our arms and welcome back our older adults, our participants, and those caregivers. And we'll be able to do that with your help this evening. This year, we're attempting to raise $100,000 during the gala. To put that in perspective, second half programs and resources requires about $600,000 each year to operate. So you can see how important this gala, this virtual gala, is to our programs. I'd like to close by quoting the late Henry Nouwen, a famous priest and author who spent most of his ministry caring for some of the world's most vulnerable individuals. Father Nouwen said this: "Fundraising is proclaiming what we believe in such a way that we offer other people the opportunity to participate with us in our vision and mission." I'm asking you this evening to participate with me in offering these much needed programs and resources to our older adults. I believe deeply in the vision and mission of Second Half with Lyngblomsten, and I hope you'll join me. Thanks again for joining us this evening. I really do appreciate it. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Leslie Grant. Dr. Grant is a longtime friend and supporter of Lyngblomsten, going back to the 1990s. Perhaps even further than that. Last year, we asked Dr. Grant to do a study to use his expertise as an educator and as a researcher from the University of Minnesota to study second half. And he did that. And this evening, he would like to share a little bit with you about what he found. Take it away, Dr. Grant.
Thank you, Jeff, for that wonderful introduction. And thank you for joining us for this Spring Gala tonight. I've been very lucky in that I've had 25 years of first-hand experience working with Lyngblomsten as a volunteer, as a board member, and as a researcher from the University of Minnesota. Lyngblomsten is synonymous with innovation. So what does innovation mean? It means pushing the envelope. Throughout its history, Lyngblomsten has introduced very innovative practices. The service house, which is a first household model that was introduced into this country. The Gathering, which is a respite program for families coping with memory loss. And the second half with Lyngblomsten, which is an innovative program that provides a range of community-based services for older adults. Now, the real purpose of my presentation tonight is to make the case for why we should all support the second half with Lyngblomsten. So I was asked by the leadership and the advisory board for the second half with Lyngblomsten to do an evaluation. So I did a series of focus groups in 2018, and I did a participant survey in 2019. And what did that research show? Well, and behold, we had very positive findings related to higher levels of engagement amongst participants, greater social connectedness, meaning people were less socially isolated and lonely, People reported being able to live well in their neighborhoods, which is important because most older Americans want to live at home in their neighborhoods, and participation in spirituality wellness fostered healthy aging. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for everything that you do for Lyngblomsten. And with that, I want to propose a toast to Jeff, the team, and the frontline staff. As they say in Sweden, skål, vi är här tillsammans. Cheers, we are here together.
And skål to you. Our sincere thanks to Dr. Grant for his testimony about Lyngblomsten's innovation. He is clearly qualified to speak on innovation and senior care from his long history in the aging services field. And we are grateful for his research expertise and for providing the evidence that second half programs are truly making a difference every single day. If you would like to learn more about Dr. Grant's research, his white paper summarizing his research and how second half enhances aging experiences for its participants will be posted on the Lyngblomsten website later today. Well, two of the research findings that Dr. Grant highlighted were, quote, social connectedness and engagement with life. We will bring those points alive with our next testimonial. Jean Browne has enjoyed weekly laugh and chat gatherings, and you heard that correctly, laugh and chat with Lyngblomsten. She's attended the Minnesota Opera. She's taken several classes and enjoyed numerous outings. There is pretty much not anything that Jean hasn't participated in. Jean lives with her daughter, Cherida McCall, and together they will share their story of connection and gratitude for second half with Lyngblomsten.
Hello, I'm Cherida, and this is Jean, my mother. And we are so happy to be able to have this opportunity to tell you and share with you how much we love second half at Lyngblomsten.
Oh, we certainly do.
Yes. We both came from England, in the northwest near Manchester. But I settled in the Twin Cities in 1981, and my two sisters also emigrated long ago and settled in California. So with all her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren in America, we decided it was time for Jean to come too. So she's been living with me and my husband for 6 years now. I'll tell you a little bit about her. Jean's a World War II veteran. She was in the Women's Army Corps as a height and range finder and a physical trainer.
Yes, I took the girls for their Keep Fit classes.
Yeah. Of course, my father was a veteran too, but he died 20 years ago. But Jean stayed active with a great social life in England. So when she settled here, I looked to find something to replace that. And I came across information about Lyngblomsten at our local church, and I thought, yes, I've hit the jackpot. So Jean's going to tell us, I'd like you to say what you particularly love about Lyngblomsten second half.
I love all the things I can do there. There's outings, day trips, in transport, and we have lunch, and we see old friends, and I see places I wouldn't otherwise see, and concerts, and learn about opera if we wish to, and with the professional musicians come, and there's games, all kinds of games going on. In fact, every Tuesday there's my favorite laugh and chat.
She goes every Tuesday as much as she can. Tell them what it used to be called and why you changed the name.
Oh yes, well originally it was called Stitch and Chat. After a while we said to one another, well, we do a lot of laughing, don't we? So we decided, and it was changed to Laugh and Chat.
That's right, and you've brought two friends in, haven't you?
And I made two very nice friends, and they also attend Laugh and Chat and enjoy it too.
And I say what is said at Laugh and Chat stays at Laugh and Chat.
All right.
Yeah, there's always something to do and learn, isn't there, Mummy?
There's always something to do and learn.
Yes.
And it's always either free or very affordable.
Definitely. We want to thank the volunteers and staff, are always so wonderful, right?
Yes, they are.
I have to say, when this new catalogue came out for spring,
yes.
we were so excited. Can't wait till things open up and we can go back to it, right?
Such lovely ladies, right? And oh, how we can relate to just looking forward to when everything is open up again and we can all safely get out and about. In case you are curious, Jeanne will be 99 in August. What an inspiration she is, just lovely. Well, while the COVID-19 pandemic has put a damper on programming, there are services that have been adapted and are continuing to be offered during this time. So important. Next, we will hear examples of how Second Half's caregiver services have been modified.
Five days a week, I've been sending emails to equip our caregivers in a variety of activity choices. I've been sending purposeful activities like what we do at the gathering, trying to stimulate as many lobes of the brain as possible. So doing activities such as discussions and reminiscing, music sing-alongs, poetry or short storytelling, large and small motor activities. It's been wonderful to have the support of Andrea Lewandowski, Lyngblomsten's Director of Lifelong Learning and the Arts, because she has had some artists do work for her and for us that's just been fantastic. The gathering is really based on relationships, and so we have heard from our caregivers that during this time, they have not felt forgotten, that these emails help them to feel like they're a part of something, they're part of a group. We miss being together in person at our gathering sites. We're working hard to provide modified programming at this time until we can get back together again, which we very much look forward to.
Some of us volunteers are sending cards to a participant weekly, and including in that, we are sending some paper project like a word find or a picture to color or paint, which is similar to what we do at the gathering. So when it comes time to send a project, I kind of think of what can I send, like something seasonal or something what's going on in my life. And so right before Easter, I decided, now what am I going to send? But I had this very detailed pictures of bunnies, eggs, and butterflies and flowers. And I thought, well, I think that's something he could do. So I sent that with the card. The week right before Easter, I got this card from my participant and his wife that he had completed this picture. And it was beautiful, done in pastel colored pencils. And I was thrilled to receive it. It is unbelievable how we can continue to have contact with our participants and their caregivers during this coronavirus pandemic.
Carolyn, Klaver, Lisa Browne, and I have been providing one-on-one support calls over the phone with caregivers who are in need of extra reassurance and guidance during this time. We're also offering our caregiver support groups by phone. So during these calls, people can feel connected with others, share strategies, and really just feel less alone. We heard in a call last week, one caregiver commented, "It is so good to laugh with people who understand me." We're very grateful to our volunteer support group facilitators. They've stepped up during this time and helped us promote and offer these groups. We are hearing how much the COVID virus has really compounded the effects of stress and isolation for our caregivers, and we're committed to providing meaningful ways to stay connected and support them during this very difficult time.
Isn't it just amazing what we can do when we are forced to think how to do our work differently? We know the modifications to caregiver services are making a difference every single day. For example, one caregiver said just last week, quote, "We both miss our friends at the gathering. The emails and check-in calls mean so much, otherwise we would feel forgotten." Another shared, quote, "We have been using a number of the activities provided. This isolation has been especially difficult for my loved one with Alzheimer's, and being a caregiver in these circumstances has been very trying. Thank you for reaching out to us. From pen pal letters to emails with brain-stimulating activity ideas to coaching over the phone, I am personally so grateful that caregivers are still receiving support because they desperately need it, especially now. And I do remember feeling that desperate need. At this point in my life, I look back at my dad's life, his journey in terms of chapters. There's the dad of my childhood, the one who taught me to skate like a hockey player, helped me reel in my first walleye, I was very excited, drove us to church in his VW Bug. I remember the dad of my high school days, running from 3M to church meetings, from meetings to my meets, track, speech, or tennis, and even then, still finding ways to serve his greater community, helping refugees and seniors as well. I remember the dad of my single adult days, offering financial advice, career support, traveling to visit wherever I was living at the time, DC, Ohio, New York, you name it. The dad who purchased tickets on a red-eye flight and train, then hailed a taxi to help move his broken-hearted daughter, trying to move at the end of her graduate school career and at the end of a broken engagement. Then I remember the dad who walked me down the aisle and soon became a pop-pop to my girls, holding them in his arms, singing a Swedish lullaby. But that's when the chapters of my dad's life blur into the chapters of our Alzheimer's journey. Because in those new days of becoming a mother, I also became the daughter of someone clearly confused, forgetful, vulnerable. Protecting my dad during this chapter also meant supporting my mom, giving her the caregiver's relief she needed to survive, yes, truly survive her long days. That's when we discovered the gathering. My mom and I honestly can't remember who specifically suggested this community of loving volunteers that would engage my dad and serve my mom. We just know it mattered so very much. He sang, created art, and smiled, all under the direction of people who respected him and cared for him and understood the challenges of his journey. And all while my mom could rest, run errands, and reconnect with her identity apart from caregiver. It gave me peace as a daughter to know my dad was safe, challenged, even entertained, while my mom was relieved, refreshed, even renewed, enough to face another day. We honestly can't imagine this chapter without the loving embrace of the gathering. And I can tell you, I remember well the day I was personally called to pick up my dad from his gathering meeting. After he'd reached an advanced stage and was no longer willing to safely stay put. I remember that day at the heartbreaking end of my chapter that we so treasured in this otherwise challenging time. We have now passed the 1-year mark of my dad finally ending his Alzheimer's journey, what I often refer to as his last marathon. In this year, I've reflected often on the chapters of my dad's life, from my childhood when he held my hand and showed me how to skate, through his peak professional years when he showed me how he selflessly served others, to his Alzheimer's marathon, when the disease ravaged his memory and personality, but could not steal his character and core values. Today I can tell you, as painful as this last chapter was, as dark as the disease could be, we remain forever grateful for the light shined by the gathering. It's pretty amazing how the love in your village can help those on this journey. And today, as I'm still writing this next chapter without my dad, as I'm still trying to define my life and identity without him, I cling to one truth, a truth I want to share with everyone on this journey. You are not alone. Your community, including the gathering and the second half with Lyngblomsten, is here to catch you, hold you up, and support you every single day and through every challenging chapter. I hope my story and those of others you heard from tonight Might give you a glimpse of how Second Half with Lyngblomsten is making an important difference in our community. And now it's your turn to make a difference. Every year, Lyngblomsten commits more than $500,000 to fund the supportive resources offered through Second Half with Lyngblomsten. While participants pay fees for many of the services they use, the subsidy from the Lyngblomsten Foundation is critical for keeping the fees affordable for older adults, and we want this to be accessible for everyone who needs it. This is the point in our program where we invite you to help fund our need. Whatever amount you can give will certainly help. Let me share some examples of funding amounts needed to provide Second Half programs. $50 covers one enrollment in a balanced exercise class series of 8 sessions proven to help prevent falls and injuries. $125 pays for 5 hours of respite, which translates to a break for one family caregiver, while giving a person with memory loss a fun and meaningful day with brain-stimulating activities at the gathering. $350 covers the event costs for one older adult ministry forum to equip congregational leaders and volunteers for ministering to, with, and for older adults. $500 pays for one teaching artist to lead a community art project or music class series to promote creativity, confidence, dexterity, and socialization. $1,000 covers meals for 10 sessions of the Gathering Group respite program, supporting those living with early to mid-stage memory loss. The goal for this year's gala is to raise $100,000. We know that is a lot, but I've got some good news for you. We got a head start before tonight. First, we have $45,100 raised through sponsorships. Phenomenal, and let's give that a round of applause. And yes, you can do that even from home. Thank you to each of our sponsors. We so appreciate it. We also have received some gifts prior to tonight from those who originally couldn't attend the in-person event. Additionally, when the gala had to be converted to a virtual event, folks who had already bought tables or purchased tickets graciously converted those purchases to donations. That amount totals more than $6,500. Awesome, and thank you to you as well. That leaves us with about $50,000 left to raise tonight. Can you help us meet that goal? I've been informed that 2 people have stepped up so far to contribute to our funded need tonight. We have a commitment for $2,500 and a commitment for $1,000. Thank you to those 2 anonymous donors for getting us started tonight. Now, if this was your first time learning about Lyngblomsten, thank you for checking us out and checking out this event. We hope you are inspired to support this important cause. If you've been part of the Lyngblomsten family for a while, we hope you are inspired to donate once again, and maybe again after that. Now, a moment ago, I described the head start we have toward the gala's fundraising goal. As if that wasn't enough good news, I have a little surprise. We have 2 incentive prizes tonight, one for first-time donors and another for repeat donors. If you make a gift tonight of $100 or more and you are a first-time donor to Lyngblomsten, you will be entered into a drawing for a prize basket called On a Roll. Now, this package has been donated by the Lyngblomsten Foundation staff and contains, and I think you will agree with this, some highly coveted items, such as toilet paper and Swiss cake rolls, yum, along with a $25 gift card for K-Viet in Northeast Minneapolis, where you can get amazing egg rolls. And there is a $25 gift certificate for Toby's in Hinckley, home of those delicious caramel and cinnamon rolls. So clearly, we've established that our theme of rolls translates to a delightful package of useful, and I might say yummy, rolls. We also have a special prize package for our returning donors, too. All returning donors who make a gift of $500 or more to this year's gala will have their names entered in a drawing for a prize package we are calling Spruce Up Your Nest. This fantastic package has been donated by Julie Omland and includes a gorgeous quilt made by Julie with help from Paige Johnson of the Quilting Page. Additionally, there is a wooden rack to display this gorgeous quilt, but wait, there is more. The package also includes a pillow and bowl made by Julie with fabric that matches the quilt. And I should mention that not only is Julie so crafty, but she also worked tirelessly on the gala. She has volunteered for a number of years with Care Ministry in the Gathering and is a shining example of the great community of people who make Lyngblomsten so special. So thank you to you, Julie. And finally, in this package, you will also receive an autographed copy of the local author William Kent Kruger's book, This Tender Land. So thank you to him as well. So those are two fantastic prize packages. To be eligible for the prize drawings, make your gift at the levels described and make sure your gift is received by noon next Friday, May 1st. And yes, I want to answer that question. Those who gave gifts at the designated levels prior to this evening will also be entered in the drawing. Well, let's get to the nuts and bolts. How can you make your donation? You want to do it? Well, how can you do it? You have some options. If you are viewing our gala program from the Lyngblomsten Spring Gala webpage, you can simply click the donate button located under this broadcast window and make your donation online tonight. Easy schmeezy. Or you can download a form to pay by check or to indicate that you'll be sending your donation via mail or through another source such as a donor-advised fund or IRA distribution, etc. And as a side note, many companies have matching gifts, which is fabulous. Check with your company's HR department to see if your company would match your gift to Lyngblomsten, which could also make a real difference. And with that, I want to thank you so much for joining us in this virtual format. The delivery may have been different, but the significance and meaning remain the same, maybe equally profound and impactful, maybe even more so. We hope you enjoyed hearing from those involved with Second Half with Lyngblomsten. We thank them for sharing their stories with us tonight. And we hope you learned a little bit about the wonderful work of Second Half with Lyngblomsten and its critical mission to enhance the lives of older adults. And that's so important every day, but especially today. Lyngblomsten is unique in the aging services arena and the way to support older adults living out in the community in their own homes or apartments. And we so appreciate what they do. Now, here is the benefit of this virtual program. If you would like others to see the program, or if there are parts you want to watch again, for example, the gala has been recorded and will be uploaded to Lyngblomsten Spring Gala webpage within 24 hours. So look forward to that. Finally, Lyngblomsten cannot meet the needs of our community without your support. You are the ones who can make the difference. We hope you will donate to help make sure Second Half with Lyngblomsten can continue to be that affordable, quality, trusted resource for older adults in our community. On behalf of the Lyngblomsten Foundation and those who depend on the services and all of the opportunities available through Second Half, we extend our heartfelt appreciation for your financial support. Thank you for joining us for the Spring Gala virtual edition. We will close with a photo montage from Second Half with Lyngblomsten. Have a wonderful weekend. Please be well, be safe, and good night.